Hi friends, welcome to English grammar classes. I'm Jijo Abraham. Today we are going to discuss about the uses and formation of simple present tense. Let's start with the uses. First of all, when something is generally or always true, we use simple present to state that. For example, people need food. It snows in winter here. 2 and 2 make 4. So all these are considered to be generally true. The next one, for a situation that is more or less permanent, that is stated in simple present tense. Where do you live? I live in Rani, or I live in India, or she works in a bank. I don't like mushrooms. So all these are considered to be permanent. So then there is a question. Is there any fact that would be temporary as well as permanent? My answer is yes. There are temporary facts as well as there are permanent facts. For example, if you take the case of a person, if you call a person boy or a girl, it is applicable to be called, so to call that particular person for a time being or up to the age of 18. So if you say Harish is a good boy, your statement may be right for the present time, but after 10 years or 20 years, can you call the same person as a boy or a girl? No, it will be changing. It is necessary to be changed. Why? Because the time has passed and what you stated as a fact was fact then and it is not a fact now. So that means they change according to the time. They are called as timely facts or temporary facts. The other one is there, permanent by its nature. There are again two categories. If you take the case of a permanent fact, by personal point of view, it will be permanent, but for another person, it may be or may not be permanent. For example, if you say like he works in a bank or she works in a bank, she is a teacher. So how long would you call her as a teacher or as a bank employee? Till he or she retires. That means for his or her life, that particular job is considered to be permanent. But after a time, he or she has to retire. Till that time, it is considered to be permanent. They are considered to be personal facts. It is permanent by its nature. But if you make the statement as she is working in a bank, that is not considered about the or present continuous tense is not a tense to be considered to use to say about a thing or a fact that is considered permanent. So a permanent fact cannot be stated in present continuous tense. That is considered to be to state a fact that is temporary by its nature. For example, if you say she is working in a bank, that means for the time being or till he or she gets another job, she or he would act or work as a teacher or work as a bank employee. After that, she would change. She would quit the job. There is a possibility. There is a chance. And another case is there. If you say that earth is round, milk is white, sky is blue. In all these cases, you can see simple present tense is used to state these facts which are considered to be permanent and applicable all over the world. If you take milk to Africa or Japan, it will remain white. It won't change its color. So they are considered to be permanent by its nature. The next one is about the habits as well as regular actions. For example, do you smoke? I play tennis every day. I don't travel very often. In all these cases, we can see that usually they are stated in simple present tense because they are the part of one's habit or regular actions. Habit means something that is the part of character of a person. I wake up by 6 or I go to bed at 9. I take my lunch at 12:30 or by 12:30. All these are considered or based upon a particular time, and they are repeated, and moreover they are considered to be the part of a person's character. So they are habits. But if you take the case of regular actions, there are two. Regular actions with regular interval and regular action with irregular interval. Suppose a boy or girl states that I go to school every day. I go to my office every day. We know that Saturdays and Sundays are holidays for school. But then to the boy or the girl's statement is considered absolutely right because they are considered with the regular actions with regular interval. That means whenever that institution is on function, they are there. So that is based upon their regularity of that action is based upon the regularity of the functioning of that particular institution. So they are considered regular action. Then another type of regular actions are there, but their interval may be irregular. For example, if you say, I don't meet her often, or I meet her sometimes. So when or where this particular action takes place, that is not mentioned. So it is quite natural to see one person to another. If you take the case that I go to church on Sundays, but suppose one Sunday you got fever or cold, you are not able to go. That means whenever it is possible for you, with the same regular interval you will appear there. I go to market sometimes. So, or I don't go to market often. If you make these types of statements, so can you say that when it is repeated? No. It is repeated, but at the same time, they are not repeated with a regular interval. They are also considered to be simple present statements. And they are stated in simple present itself. Then next one, to talk about the future when we discuss a timetable or a fixed time. So, what is considered to be a fixed plan or a timetable? So, a timetable or a fixed plan is already decided. So, defined, decided as well as prepared, and it works according to a particular schedule that is already planned. If you take the case of a flight, that's what is the example. School begins at 9 tomorrow. So one cannot start the school or start the school early without informing the parents as well as the students as well as the teachers, the committee. So that means the committee has decided and the decision is declared in simple present tense. Then next one, what time does the film start? That is based upon a particular time. The film starts at 9:30. The film starts at 6:30 p.m. So that means there is a fixed schedule for the same, or a timetable is there. So when we say or when we state something based upon a schedule or a timetable, sure, we state the same sentences in simple present tense. There is no doubt. Otherwise, if you take the case of a timetable of a flight, bus, train, they are stated in simple present tense. As well as our decisions about future plans, future arrangements. She comes tomorrow. If you make such a statement in simple present tense, that means the person might have started the journey or might have got on a flight or a train and they are traveling, and he or she is possibly be here by tomorrow morning. That means all the arrangements are done, planning is done, but the arrival time that is fixed and it is possible to happen, it is sure to happen. So if the same surety is there, that statement can be stated in simple present tense. Next one, when we take the case of the time clauses which start with when, until, often, after, before, as soon as. So they usually state or they are considered to be time clauses. So when a time clause is used, the reason will be stated in simple present tense and the result will be announced in future tense or present continuous tense. For example, I'll call you when I have time. When I have time is stated in simple present tense and I'll call you is stated in simple future. I won't go out until it stops raining. Until it stops raining is in simple present tense and I won't go out is in simple future. I'm going to make dinner in present continuous. Then after I watch the news. So after I watch the news is stated in simple present tense. So now we need to discuss about the use of do and does. The two unseen auxiliaries which are called so unseen auxiliaries of present simple. Do is used with plural subjects and does is used with singular subjects. Do is used with the subjects like I, you, we, they, Ram and Raj, then Shyam and Sonu. So they are considered to be plural. Along with the plural subject, when do is added with the verb, that does not make any change. The verb will remain same. That means when a plural subject is used, you have to use the verb as it comes. So if you take the case of does, it is used with singular subjects. If the subject is singular, like he, she, it, they, Raj, Sonu, or any subject which is treated or considered to be singular, along with the subject, to make the verb singular, we use does with the verb. If does is added with the verb does not make any change in its tense but in its form. So that is how can we recognize that whether it is added with does. It's easy. See the end of the verb, it is added with s, es or ies. Suppose if the verb is ending in o, then it is usually added with es. Or if it is ending in y and making the sound as I or e at the end, the y is replaced into ies. Cry, cries. Okay. So, but at the same time, always it is not so. All the y's will not be changing into ies. For example, play, plays. There ys is added because the last sound is a, play. Okay, so that means if it is ending in I or E sound, sure, it is added into ies. But if you take the case of the verb, want, walk, there simply we add s to it. So when s is added, by the time we come to know that it is added with does. Now let's go with the formation of the sentences. I, we, they, you play football. If it is he, she, it or Ravi plays football every day. So when we change the same into negative, with the plural subject, as we discussed earlier, we add do with the verb. So there is a regular rule of forming negatives, that is, negative verb or the negation is added in between the auxiliary verb and the main verb. So here auxiliary is do, since the subject is plural, and after that not or never, no, or the negative word is to be inserted, and after that we have to add the main verb. For example, I play, I do not play. They go, they do not go. If it is she or he or the singular subjects, there we add does with the verb and removes the s, es or ies form from the verb too. The baby cries. The baby does not cry. It is not cries. The baby does not cry. She plays. She does not play. He writes. He does not write. Okay. Then if you want to make the interrogative, then you have to place do or does before the subject and add a question mark at the end. Then the yes or no question is ready. We play. Do we play? They go. Do they go? Then she comes. Then does she come? The baby cries. Does the baby cry? Then he plays football. Does he play football? If you want to make the WH questions or what the questions added with what, where, when, how long, how much, they are to be added before this yes or no question. For example, I play. Do you play? What do you play? Where do you play? When do you play? She studies. Does she study is the first type. When does she study? Where does she study? How does she study? All these are the ways of forming questions. Then we can form the negative questions too. So we have to add don't or doesn't in front of the sentence. The sentence changes into negative interrogative or negative question. You play. Don't you play? We study. Don't we study? She works. Doesn't she work? Then he plays. Doesn't he play? This is the end of the video. Thank you for watching this video. And I would like to wish you an amazing day. Thank you. Please share, like and subscribe our channel.